It's time to play America's most quoted game. Says Who?
Hi, thanks for joining us today. We'll be playing a special Golfers Foreplay edition of Says Who, the fun-filled game of memorable quotes by some pretty memorable people from the world of golf. The quotations, by the way, are from Bob Hope's book, Confessions of a Hooker.
Thanks for the memory.
Now we'll meet our players. We have Frank and Julie. Where are you from, Julie?
Glen Ellen.
Great. And Frank?
Glen Ellen.
Great. Do you play the links here?
Occasionally.
Yeah. If you could play any course in particular, anywhere in the world, do you have a favorite, a dream course you'd like to play? And that is?
St. Andrews in England.
Oh, okay.
Pebble Beach.
All right. And over here we have Dan and Jennifer. And where are you from, Jennifer?
Ellen.
Great.
Wheaton.
Oh, all right. And tell me about your best round. Where'd you play it?
Oh, no, I'm not that good. So nothing's ever been a best round.
Okay. How about your most fun round? Where was that?
Probably when I was drinking.
Okay. All right. And Dan, how about your best round? Where'd you play that one?
Probably a good round at miniature golf.
Okay. All right. Well, let me tell you how we play the game.
The object of Says Who is to complete a celebrity quotation or movie scene dialogue as players take turns selecting letters from our computerized game board. First team to correctly complete the quote wins that round. Each round starts at 100 points, but for each letter used, the value is reduced 5 points. So the fewer letters used, the more points scored. And the player with the most points at the end of the last round is our winner and gets to play the Says Who bonus round. So without further ado, let's all play Says Who!
And our first quotation, we'll do this for Frank and Julie. This is round number 1, Says Who? Says former President Gerald Ford. In spite of all the wonderful gifts and mementos given me, if I could have one special piece of memorabilia, it would be the first dollar Bob Hope ever. And choose a letter for us, please.
D.
A D.
Yeah.
There is one D. And you'll have 5 seconds.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. And we'll move on now to Dan and Jennifer. Why don't you pick a letter for us? This will be for 95 points.
T?
A T. Well, there are 2 T's. And they're filled in. Do you have any idea? Can you complete the quotation for us? All right.
No.
Back to Frank and Julie. This one will be for 90 points. Choose a letter for us, please.
Okay, F.
An F. There is one
Oh.
F. And there it is. Any idea? Okay. Back to Dan and Jennifer. Choose a letter for us, please.
L.
An L. There is one L. Okay.
So we didn't get it.
Back to Frank and Julie. This is for 80 points. Pick a letter for me.
A.
An A. Okay, there is one A in the quotation. Gerald Ford said this.
Pay on a bet, lost on a golf course.
Very good. That's the correct answer, yes. Says former President Gerald Ford. The most important piece of memorabilia he'd like from Bob Hope would be the first dollar he ever paid on a bet lost on a golf course. Very good. That was for 80 points. We will now move on to our next quotation. And this one is number 2. It says who? Says Bing Crosby. Bob was usually 30 minutes late on the first tee. In the meantime, a crowd would collect, and then he'd do a monologue. He'd wiggle around, stall, and try to choose a letter for us, Dan and Jennifer.
H.
An H. There are 2 H's in the quote. We'll fill them in and take a look, see if you can solve the puzzle for us.
No.
Okay. Back to Frank and Julie. Choose a letter.
R.
An R. There is one R. This is Bing Crosby. Okay. Back to Dan and Jennifer. This is for 90 points. Choose a letter.
An L.
An L. There is one L. This is Bing Crosby about Bob being late to the match and saying... Okay. Frank and Julie.
Okay, D.
For 85 points, a D. There are two Ds. Okay, Dan and Jennifer, says Bing Crosby. Bob was usually 30 minutes late on the tee. In the meantime, a crowd would collect, and he'd do a monologue. He'd wiggle around, stall, and try to choose a letter.
T.
A T. There are three T's. That's a good choice. This will be for 80 points.
No.
Okay, Frank and Julie. 75 points. Pick a letter.
How about N? N.
An N. There are four N's.
All
That
right.
should fill it in a little bit.
I don't mean the beginning.
Okie doke. Dan and Jennifer for 70 points. Choose a letter for me, please.
C.
A C. There are two C's.
Incidentally.
This is Bing Crosby talking about his good friend Bob Hope. Alrighty, Frank and Julie, your turn to choose a letter. This will be for 65 points.
E.
An E. There are three E's.
In dice? What is that? Okay.
Okay, back to our play team. Dan and Jennifer.
U.
A U. There are four U's.
I just was going to guess.
There we go, completed a word. Let's see if you can complete this quote.
Induce you into a match where you couldn't win.
Exactly, induce you into a match where you couldn't win. That's Bing Crosby talking about his good friend Bob Hope. All right, we'll move on to our next round.
What did I say?
Says who? Says Hope about the great one, Jackie Gleason. It's fun playing with Gleason. He's the only golfer I know with a spigot on his 5-iron. And he has... Frank and Julie, choose a letter for us.
T.
A T. There are three T's. Okay, for 95 points, Dan and Jennifer.
An F.
An F. There is one F. Bob Hope talking about Jackie Gleason.
No.
Okay. Back to Frank and Julie. Choose a letter. This will be worth 90 points.
What do you want? R? R.
An R. There are three R's. He's the only golfer I know with a spigot on his 5-iron, and he has...
Oh!
Take a guess.
Oh!
We'll have to wait till next time. Time's up. Dan and Jennifer, choose a letter.
H.
An H. There are two H's.
Oh! I know it!
Don't tell them. Okay, Frank and Julie, choose a letter.
Okay, I know it. The only golf cart with the bartender.
The only golf cart with bartender, that's correct. That was 80 points. Very good. Our next quotation is Bob Hope talking about Sam Snead. Says who? Says Bob Hope about Sam Snead. In an early Crosby Pro-Am, Bing and I were paired with Sam Snead and Ben Hogan. Snead, who had the mountain man's inbred suspicion of strangers, didn't say a word to me for the first few holes, although he knew who I was. Finally, on about the 5th or 6th tee, he ambled over to me and whispered, "Mr. Hope, tell me." Choose a letter. Dan and Jennifer, choose a letter.
M.
An M. There is one M. This is Sam Snead talking to Bob Hope. Okay. Frank and Julie, choose a letter.
S.
An S. There is one S. Can you complete the quotation?
No.
Okay. Dan and Jennifer, choose a letter. This will be for 90 points.
W.
A W. There are 2 W's. Back to the 4 team. Frank and Julie, choose a letter.
R.
An R. There is 1 R.
Can you repeat the thing?
This is Sam Snead talking to Bob Hope on about the 5th or 6th tee. He'd been kind of shy, and he has a question for him. All right, Dan and Jennifer, pick a letter for us.
An L?
An L. There are 3 L's. That could help.
There's no N. There's no N.
Frank and Julie, pick a letter.
Okay, H.
An H. There is 1 H. Sam Snead talking to Bob Hope after he warmed up to him a little bit.
Oh, I know it.
Okay.
How are them Hollywood girls?
Ooh, close, but not quite. We got to move on now to Dan and Jennifer.
Oh.
A.
This will be worth 70 points. Can you complete the quote?
Yes.
All right.
How are them Hollywood gals?
Gals.
That's exactly right. How are them Hollywood gals? Oh, it's got to be gals. Very good.
I meant girls. Girls came out girls.
All right, we're going to move on to our 5th quotation now. We'll start with Frank and Julie. Says who? Says Bob Hope about former President Eisenhower. Another course Ike liked to play was El Dorado in Palm Springs. During his 2 terms as president, he often came out to the desert during the winter and never failed to get in a round or 2. El Dorado has grapefruit trees in the rough where Ike spent a lot of his time, and he was always picking up grapefruits while looking for his ball. One day he got really exasperated and said, "When I get back to the White House," choose a letter.
R.
An R. Good choice. There are 5 R's.
great.
Ike said, "When I get back to the White House." Okay, Dan and Jennifer, pick a letter.
S.
An S. There is 1 S. Back to the 4 team, Frank and Julie. What letter would you like?
P.
A P. There is 1 P. Ike said, "When I get back to the White House." All right, over to the play team. Dan and Jennifer, your letter.
V?
A V. There is 1 V. Frank and Julie, what letter would you like to see?
T.
A T. For 80 points, there is 1 T. Over to Dan and Jennifer. What letter?
D.
A D. There is 1 D. Ike said, "When I get back to the White House." Okay, Frank and Julie, for 70 points, your letter.
Okay, an H.
An H. There is 1 H. Dan and Jennifer, what letter would you like?
N, please.
An N. There are 2 N's. This is what Ike said after he fought his way out of the rough.
I don't know.
Okay. Frank and Julie, your letter, please.
What do you want?
F.
An F. There are 2 F's.
Oh,
Okay. Can you solve the quote for us?
if anyone serves my grapefruit, they're
Ooh, seconds. Can you do
If
it? Go
anyone
ahead.
serves my grapefruit, they're fired.
Ooh, close, but not quite. Not quite. Dan and Jennifer, you can steal this one for 55 points. What letter would you like?
Yeah, that would give it away.
U.
A U. There is one U. Now, can you complete the quote?
If anyone serves my grapefruit, they are fired?
Not quite. Oh, we're so close, so close. Need to pick that one letter. Okay, back to Frank and Julie.
A.
An A, there is one A.
Oh, shoot. Nuts.
5 seconds.
If anyone serves my grapefruit.
Okay, back to Dan and Jennifer. Look at the letters up there. Choose one more.
An E, please.
An E, good choice. There are 8 E's.
Oh, Jesus.
I think this one should just about take care of it for us. Can you complete the quotation for us?
If anyone serves me grapefruit, they're fired.
Exactly, that's right. If anyone serves me grapefruit, they're fired. Unfortunately, the earlier answers were anyone serves my grapefruit. Very good, okay. We're finished the front 9. We're going to head for the back 9 in just a minute here. Stay with us. We're going to have Nicklaus, Sneed, and some other golfers shortly. Please stay around. Thanks.
No. Take it.
We'd like to thank the following well-known restaurants and other local retailers for donating prizes for today's show. Ralphie's, Beijing, Blue Sky, Brown's Chicken and Pasta, Ciao Bella, Fannie Mae Candies, Little Caesars Pizza, McCowan Seafood, McDonald's, Santa Fe, Wellspring Chiropractic Center,
Welcome back. Let's recap our scores and see where we are. The 4 team of Julie and Frank has 160 points, and it's still awful close. The play team, Jennifer and Dan, have 175 points, so it's only a 15-point difference. Let's move along with the last 5 quotes. Says who? Says Hope about Arnold Palmer. I had Arnold Palmer on my TV show a couple of times, and he was good. In one skit, I asked him if he'd mind working on my game. Arnold smiled that natural Latrobe, Pennsylvania smile and said, I've already seen your game, Bob. And we'll start with Frank and Julie. Choose a letter for us.
S.
An S. There is one S. Okay. Dan and Jennifer, if you could find a letter for us.
H.
An H. There are 2 H's.
I think you should take up tennis.
Exactly. I've already seen your game, Bob. I think you should take up tennis. Good job. Our next quotation is Bob Hope talking about Lee Trevino. Says who? Says Hope about Lee Trevino. Lee's career nearly ended when he was struck by lightning during the Western Open in 1975, which caused him a lot of serious back problems. I love Lee's line, I should have been carrying a 1-iron that day. Dan and Jennifer, pick a letter for us.
R.
An R. There is one R. Okay, Frank and Julie have been conferring over here. I think they may have an answer for us. Choose a letter, if you would.
N.
An N. Good choice. There are 4 N's.
Even God can't hit a 1-iron.
Exactly, yes. I should have been carrying a 1-iron that day. Even God can't hit a 1-iron. Our next quote, we'll have Dan and Jennifer start this one. Says who? Says Hope. Here we are arriving near the front lines in Vietnam in 1969. I've got my golf club handy, but there were... Choose a letter for us, please.
S.
An S. There are 3 S's. Okay, this will be for 95 points. Frank and Julie, find a letter up there and fill it in. I'm sorry?
M.
An M. There is one M.
Shoot.
Okay, this one will be for 90 points. We'll go over to the play team. Dan and Jennifer, choose a letter if you would.
G.
A G. There is one G. All right, we'll move back to Frank and Julie. I've got my golf club handy, but there were, and your letter is?
L.
An L. There is one L. Can you complete the quotation?
No.
All right, we'll go back to Dan and Jennifer. If you would choose a letter from up there for us.
R.
An R. There are two R's. Okay, back to the four team. Choose a letter if you would.
T.
A T. There is one T. All right, back to Dan and Jennifer. Choose a letter from the letter bank up there if you would.
An H, please.
An H. There is one H. I've got my golf club handy, but there were...
No courses in Vietnam. The holes were too big.
Very good, that's correct. Got my golf club handy, but there were no courses in Vietnam. The holes were too big.
I knew it.
Our ninth quotation is from Bob Hope talking about Jack Nicklaus. Says Hope about Jack Nicklaus, I once saw Jack drive the green on the 7th hole at Scioto, a hole that measures 371 yards with a slight dogleg. He drove the green and sank the putt for an eagle. I said, how come I can't hit the ball like that? You know what he came back with? A little surprising from Nicklaus. You'd get more distance. And Frank and Julie, choose a letter for us.
An S.
An S. There are two S's. Okay, Dan and Jennifer, choose a letter from the top there and let us know what
K?
it is. A K. There is one K. You'd get more distance. All right, Frank and Julie, the quotation's kind of long there, but choose a letter and see if we can complete it.
Okay, an R.
An R. There are two R's. All right, we're down to 85 points. Still a good score. Dan and Jennifer, choose a letter for us, please.
V.
A V. There is one V.
If you took the hard covers off your woods.
Oh, close, but no cigar yet. We got to go back to Frank and Julie. This will be for 80 points. Choose a letter, please.
Okay, F.
An F. There are three F's.
Is that what he said? If you take,
Can you guess?
if you took the hard covers off your woods.
Not quite. Nope. We're going to go back to Dan and Jennifer. Choose a letter if you would.
Good, Jen.
An O.
An O. Good choice. There are 7 O's. We'll fill those in, complete a couple words for you, I'm sure. See if you can complete the quote for us.
I hope.
There they are. Go right ahead.
Oh.
You get more distance. Okay, back to Frank and Julie. They're looking pretty confident over here. Choose a letter for us. This will be for 70
Wait,
points.
guess the letter first. Guess the letter first.
E.
An E. There are 3 E's. We'll fill them in, complete another word, and go ahead.
If you took the head covers off your woods.
There you go. That's right. If you took the head covers off your woods is the answer.
You said hardcover.
I said hard.
You'd get more distance if you took the head covers off your woods.
Why did I listen to you and say hard when I know what, I mean.
Well, then I was thinking hood. And I'm like, there's no.
Sound like
All right,
kids.
we're down to our last quotation. This is the 10th one.
What is this?
This could be the game winner. This is Bob Hope. Says Bob Hope, people ask me why at my age I still play in the Classic. I have to. I'm at an awkward age. And let's see, Dan and Jennifer, choose a letter for us.
An L, please.
An L. There are 2 L's. Okay, Frank and Julie, we'll move back to you if you would choose a letter for us, please.
An S.
An S. There is one S. Can you complete the quote for us? Okay, this will be 90 points. We'll go over to Dan and Jennifer if you would choose a letter.
O.
An O. There are 7 O's. I'm at an awkward age. All right, back to Frank and Julie. I'm at an awkward age, says Bob Hope, if you would choose a letter for us.
A B.
A B. There is one B. All right, we'll go over to Dan and Jennifer, see if they can complete the quote for us, if you would choose a letter.
R.
An R. Good choice. There are 5 R's.
And 2.
Oh.
Too old for marbles and too married for women.
Exactly right. I'm at an awkward age. Good guess. Too old for marbles and too married for women. Well, that's the end of our first 10 rounds. We'll come back in a few minutes and see who gets to play the bonus round of Says Who. Stay with us if you would.
If you'd like to be a contestant on Says Who, send your name, address, and phone number to Says Who, 551 Roosevelt Road, Suite 230, Glen Ellen, Illinois, 60137.
Welcome back. It's official. We have our final scores. Let's take a look. The 4 team has 325 points. And the play team finished with 420 points. Dan and Jennifer, you're our winners. Way to go.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the 4 team tried real hard, but play took it. So we're going to move on to the bonus round. And the way this one works is the screen will come up with 6 letters. I'll read the quote. You'll get 6 letters, and then you'll have 5 seconds to complete the quotation for us, okay?
Okay.
Here we go with the bonus round. Says Bob Hope about Ike. In 1943, I was doing a series of shows for U.S. servicemen in North Africa. I had never met General Eisenhower. He was seated behind a desk in his command post, studying some maps. He got up quickly, walked over to extend his hand. His first words to me were, now the computer will fill in 6 letters for you, and when it's all done, you will have 5 seconds to complete the quote for us.
How's your game? How's your golf?
How's your golf? That's correct. How's your golf? Is correct. Very good, very good. Hope you got all the letters in, you got it. Very good. Well, I'd like to thank our good-looking foursome for joining us today, and all of you for being with us. See you all soon on America's most quoted game. Says Who? Says me, Rick K. You know, before we go, there's just one more thing we'd like to say to Bob, wherever you are.